Alright you lot, how's it going? Hope you're well. I'm just making use of this as old chest of drawers it was. I was making use of it. I'm going to make a shelf out of it. It's got wax on it there because it's just drawers. I'm taking off these runners. That's what the drawers run on. The drawers. I did originally make the shelf out of this old bit of kitchen worktop, but it's going to be. I think it's going to be too thick. It's going to be a bit too heavy. I think, and I'll show you what the application is in a minute. But I think it's a bit too heavy, so I've decided to use. This was the side of the chest of drawers. I've decided to use. I'm going to cut the feet off. Focus. I'm going to cut the feet off. A bit there because that'll be long enough then. Taking these battens off. Now, if you notice, there's going to be a bit of a dip here. It's not really good for a shelf, is it? Because you know you put stuff on it, it's going to dip down. So I've got a sheet of plywood. I'm going to put a sheet of plywood over this, screw it down, so I have a nice flat surface in order to put stuff on. It's going to be a good shelf in the end. But you know, it's not going to be pretty. But it's going to be functional. You know what I mean? So I won't be buying any more new wood. I'm going to be using the stuff I've already got. And you know, this is the sort of stuff that my dad does. You know, reuse wood and everything. He likes working with wood, and my dad is my idol. You know, I want to turn out like my dad when I grow up. So if I can make him, you know, proud of me, then that's all I want to do. So, you know, I'm utilising what I've been taught and making a nice shelf out of wood I've already got. And that's not a box. That's a shelf. I'll show you. Stop panicking, for God's sake. So I'm just cutting out now the bit that's going to go on top of it to make the flat surface. So I already had this bit of ply, a bit of wood, so I'll just cut that out and that'll be great. It's going to be like a good little shelf actually, I reckon. I'm bloody looking forward to it, I tell you. Well excited. Got me mouse. I found a mouse. I've been trapping them and getting rid of them, but this one's coming in handy, this mouse. So I'm just sanding down this, getting rid of the corners, getting rid of any rough edges, because when you cut it you always get rough edges. Sanding it all down. I'm going to sand the top down so I don't get splinters. I was going to paint the shelf. Probably ain't going to paint it. I quite like the look of just the wood on its own. But you know, who knows, I might paint it. I do plan on painting the room that this is going to go in. This is going to go in, it's not going indoors in the house, it's going in the garage here. I was going to paint the room, paint the walls and things, so I might paint the shelf when I paint it all, but for now I'm not going to paint it. I'm just going to sand it all down, get it all nice, then I'm going to put the sides on so I can mount it, because it's not going to be a shelf that's mounted to the wall, it's going to be mounted to something above. It's going to be mounted to to a worktop. So, yeah, love it! There we go, all sanded down nicely. I know that's a different colour to that, but it's not something that I necessarily care about. You know, it's not supposed to be aesthetically pleasing. It's supposed to be a functional shelf. I don't care what it looks like. It's going in the garage. It's going to be dirty, but at least it's nice now. I'm not going to get any splinters from it. So all I've got to do is put the sides on, because I've made there's the sides. Like I said, it's going to be hung. So we're going to put one of them on one side, one of them on the other, and yeah, it's just going to be hung underneath a work bench. You're not going to see the shelf anyway, but you might as well make it kind of nice. Do you know what I mean? I think some of you know what I mean. I just sat down for sort of half an hour or so, just having a relax, having a cup of coffee, you know. Thought I'd go on a bit of radio, speaking to someone on 20 metres, 40 metres, went on 2 metres. And this is just an observation, right? It's not supposed to be like a dig at anybody if you're like this, or if you know, it's not a dig, you know. There's one thing that radio operators, there are some people that do it in real life, but not as bad. It tends to be when people are talking on the radio, and also sometimes to a camera. There's people that make, but it's not a dig, all right? Not a hater, and everyone is different, but they don't speak like it in real life, only on the radio. When someone they're sort of like, say you're talking to them, and the common thing that hams do for some reason is first thing they do is start telling people what radio they're using and what antenna they've got and all that. It's just a thing for some reason, don't know why. So when someone goes, yeah, I've got a Yagi on the roof, strapped to the strapped onto the on the chimney there. Yeah, it's got a rotator on it, and it's quite a nice antenna, and I'm using an Icom. I'm using an Icom 7300. It's very good radio there. So that's my setup. So yeah, and I'm like, fucking hell, dude. Like I say, it's not a dig, right? Because, but it's just it kind of frustrates me in a way. You know, I'm just thinking to myself, come on, mate, bloody hell, spit it out. You know, I was talking to a bloke, and he was going on about that. He asked me what I used, so I told him. You know, and then he's pretty much like what I've just said to you. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, what's with all the ums and the ers? What's he making this up or what? Why is he? And a lot of people are like it. A lot of people do it, and I don't know why, but they just sort of, it's like, it's an aerial up on the it's on a pole there. It's about the pole's about it's about 20 feet. The pole there. And what's with all the bloody arms? It's been like it forever. It ain't a new thing. I've not just discovered this. It's been like, everybody seems to be. I don't know why. I don't think I do. I think I tend to speak I get my whole sentence out too quick, to be honest. And I don't see the point in hanging around. You know, you say what you got to say, and then you dekey and put it back to them. It's just an observation. Just a pure observation. I'm not picking on anybody, because people seem to be people seem to be really sensitive. I'm not picking on anybody or bullying anybody. It's an observation. Why do people like that when they're on the radio? They can't talk like that in real life, surely. Dear God, if they're like that in real life, like walking around, you know, bloody hell, crazy, man. Absolutely mad. What's going on anyway, you lot? I think it's about time we had a look at some comments. I ain't had a look at any comments for a long old time, have we? Let's have a look, shall we? Anyway, looks like I've read some of these. Dean McDough, I don't know how you pronounce that. Steve's Tube, why did you allow overseas bidders? Yeah, it would have done, yeah, that's for that amplifier. The crazy Australian. Justin Partridge, not a thumbs up. Cheers, Justin. Syra Pujanga. Hello, boss. Good night. Can I ask for what's hap? No. Eh? I don't know what you're on about this. Syra Push Haba. Another one. Same thing. Oh, he must be a troll. Oh, we'll leave him there then. What's this one? Never a truer word spoken, my friend. The world is destined for ruin, and money and greed is the driving force. It is. Boobies. Everybody needs boobies in their life. Amen. Yeah, that was on my video where I was just telling, my opinion on, the recent floods and all that up north. It's because everyone keeps building roads. Bloody hell. Water can't drain through concrete, or at least not tarmac. What's this? Caro Venus. I recently found my parents' camera. This exact one. I have no idea if it still works though. It'd be amazing if I could figure that out, but frankly, I've never even had a modern working Polaroid camera, so it's beyond me. Somebody's replied to that. It 99% works. Those cameras are tanks. You may need to invest in $18 600 film to check, because the batteries are in the film pack. I'll have to reply to you in a minute there, Corvus, because that was on a Polaroid. Yeah, that works very well, that Polaroid. Rick Haney. Just bought 2004 PW80. What's the best oil to use? The best oil? Best oil. Well, there ain't really any best oil. Just use good quality two-stroke oil. I'll comment back. Just use good quality two-stroke oil. Castrol. Anything as long as it's good quality. It could be bad quality. It doesn't matter. But just go for the best quality. Castrol or something like that. It's reasonable quality. But for a PW80, it ain't going to make a lot of difference because the engine tolerances are quite small, I mean quite large anyway. So what we got here? Oh yeah, I've been having some fun with Peter. I've been having some fun with Peter. He says, what was his first comment? 15 watts. That ain't even the legal limit in the UK. UHF transmissions is limited to 5 watts in the UK for UHF citizens band. Well, the trouble is there, UHF citizens band. I'm not sure where this Peter's from there, Peter, if you're watching this. I'm not quite sure where you're actually from. But I don't know what you're trying to... I didn't fully understand what you was trying to say. 15 watts. This comment was on a Bofang radio video. The Bofang GT3, I think it was. Was it GT3? It was a Bofang one anyway. I don't know where you got 15 watts from, and I don't know where you got the 5 watt... I don't know what that's all about. But I've been having some fun with you, Peter. I don't know whether you took it as a light-hearted laugh, but I did. There is no such thing, I said. Well, 400 watts is the legal ham limit, which is true. And I only just quoting some New Zealand, Australia stuff. I'm not really sure what that's all about, but you know, it goes on and on. But the thing is, he's on about the citizens band for some reason. I don't know why he's on about citizens band. The GT3, which is here. It was on is well, it's supposed to be a ham radio. I mean, you can't get CB on it, which is Citizens Band CB. You can't get that on it. So, but anyway, since we're on about that, he was on about Citizens Band. There's 4 watts is illegal power, 4 watts FM, 12 watts SSB sideband. That's legal. Not allowed any more than that legally. I don't know what he's on about. Wherever else, and the maximum limit that you're allowed for amateur is 400 for the full license, 50 watts for the intermediate, and 10 watts for the foundation license. If you're a full license holder, you can apply for an experimental license, and then you can choose the power that you want and the frequency that you want to use it on. And if the Ofcom decide, or it might be it might be the RSGB. Anyway, if they decide that you're okay with that, you could get 3,000 watts, you could get 4,000 watts, you could get 2,000 watts or 1,000 watt, whatever. If they decide that, you know, yeah, we'll give him that, you can get that. But you can't just use it willy-nilly. You can only use it in the way that you have asked to use it for experimental purposes. Perhaps you want to test antennas or something, I don't know. But yeah, 4 watts FM citizens band. For the UK 40, 4 watts is the maximum you're legally allowed, and for the sideband, mid-block and all that, is 12 watts. I don't know where this Peter was going, don't know where he was going, but I was having a laugh with him. Going on all this other stuff, look. Then he said, where on earth did you get 400 watts for UHF? And I said, I haven't, I don't use UHF, apart from 70 centimetres sometimes. Oh look, 13 minutes ago. 13 minutes ago he's replied to that. I'm only winding you up, Peter, but I think you're taking it seriously. Do you understand the difference between licensed ham radio operators and non-licensed amateur ham CB? Peter, there is no such thing as non-licensed ham CB. There is no ham CB. There's CB, which is a license free. You got PMR 446, but that's not ham either. Anyway, let's read the rest of it. Peter, you're providing me with live content here. What's it all about? Come on, Peter. And transmitter power restrictions on them as prescribed by the law. You can't draw parallels between amateur ham operators and licensed ham operators using HF transceivers. HF isn't VHF, UHF. Well, Peter, I don't really know what you're going on about, to tell you the truth. I'm hoping that you're having a wind up with me as well, because I'm certainly having a wind up with you, but yeah. Licensed and non-licensed. There is no such thing as a non-licensed ham unless you're a pirate. As far as I know, anyway. You've got the licensed ham radio, Foundation, Intermediate and Full, and then other than that you've got CB, which is license free, 11 meters, 27 megahertz, or 26 to 27 megahertz, and yeah, and PMR 446, which is license free. So other than that, no, I don't understand the difference, Mr. Peter. Please enlighten me, because as far as I know, there isn't one. You can't draw parallels between amateur ham operators and licensed. Well, amateur radio is ham radio there, Peter. I think you don't quite understand it, to be honest with you. Because amateur radio is ham radio. Parallels between amateur ham operators and licensed ham operators. Yeah, a licensed ham operator is an amateur operator. Yeah, amateur radio is ham radio. I think you think there's a difference. I'm not quite sure why, but I think you do. We'll leave it there, Peter. We'll leave it there, dude. Yeah, have a great day, and I'm going to have a look at some different comments. Oh dear. Alright, I've just replied to Rick. What have we got here? Doogie McLachlan Z. Huh. I get the impression he's a bit bored of that video and he fell asleep. Started sending Z's. Z. Nitro RC Motocross. I dropped my 160 Demon X the other day and broke the clutch lever. Oh dear, dude. Well, that's a shame. Yeah, my clutch lever was broken. Or was it the brake lever? I can't remember now. Glyn R. Ah, good old Glyn. You've changed your name, Glyn. Used to be Glyn Roberts. Oh well. I'm glad to see you about. You're getting wise in your old age. I'm old enough to know when London was just a village. There were only Roman tourists about. Yeah? Bloody hell, Glyn. Well, London's a shithole now. They've built everything. It's all bloody buildings and roads everywhere. You want to go there again. That was so true. Cheers, Crowhurst. Yeah, Crowhurst, yeah. Peter. Oh, this is Peter again. Another one. Hi, have you tried the power test on this? I recently bought one advertised as 15 watts, but I contacted Bofang retailer, said it's a scam. It's 6 watts. Yeah, the GT3s, I wouldn't trust their power. I'll have to make a patch lead and test it then. Yeah, I said that. 8 months ago I said that. Look at that. Chris Liu says Chinese manufacturers regularly advertise things more powerful than they really are. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they do. They talk a lot of crap. You know, you can never believe anything. You know. This is Peter's one. No, it depends on the unit models. Some are 3 watts, 5 watt, 8 watt, 10 watt, 15 watts. If you have a lower wattage than you purchased online, contact vendor and get them to replace it with the correct unit. I don't know, man. I'm not. Why would you care about the power, really? I mean, with a Bofang, what, they're about £30, I think, 30 quid. Would you really care? I mean, if you bought like a Yaesu or something and you spent like £400 on a handheld, then you'd want it to be right, wouldn't you? But for 20, 30 quid, I'm not really sure it's a thing anyway. You can get out perfectly well with 1 or 2 watts. You know what I mean? You don't need any more, really. Deep but true. Michael Harrison. Cheers. Dylan. How do you say that? Leverus? No idea. First, Paul Jahina. I don't know how you pronounce that. I had fond memories of 11 meters back in early 90s. Is still legal to use upper sidebands 27 555? Yeah, dude. It's illegal because it ain't in our allegations. Who's this one? Bopai Van Ziel. Have you looked at your oil temp? I think your oil is getting too hot and then thin out too much. Keep it going. That's a fair point. I've got a trouble on the old Discovery, on the Land Rover, on the TD5. I replaced the turbo, so I've replaced the flange, I replaced the oil return pipe itself. I've got new gaskets and all that on it, new bolts. But I always get trouble. If you drive, it's still doing it now, it pisses all the oil out, the return. If you drive sort of on a road, like on a motorway or something, at about 60 miles an hour for more than about 10 minutes, it pisses all the oil out. And it just starts to seep out of that crack, out of the seal, you know. So I thought it happened on the old turbo, yeah. That's why the turbo blew up, because that happened. All the oil fell out the engine. Killed the turbo. So I bought a new turbo, obviously. Put that on. Didn't change the oil return pipe because it looked alright. Anyway, it's pissing out. So I bought a new return pipe. So I've got a new turbo flange and a new flange on the oil return pipe. Put that on because what happens is they bow on those return pipes. They've got a metal flange and they bow in the middle. Only a little bit. Enough for it not to seal. So I've got a new one. Checked it and it was not bowed. But it still pisses out. I mean, you can start it up, no pissing. You can drive around. You can drive around slowly all day long. But the minute that you're going at a constant speed and the engine is getting nice and hot and the oil's flowing fast around it, it pisses out of that thing. I mean, I get a lot of stick. I get a lot of pressure put on me from the wife and that. You know, and even my mum. She's like, every time we go out, it breaks down. Yeah, well, I don't know how to stop it. Do you know what I mean? Can't go on long journeys with that car at the moment because all the oil pisses out, and I'd rather not go on long journeys, you know. But we've had to book an holiday now. I'm gonna have to drive for 3 hours. You know, I'm just gonna do it. You know, because I get a lot of, you know, you're a bad person because you won't go on holiday and all that. So what I've done is I'm just gonna drive it, and if the engine, if it blows up, it blows up. You know, and we're stranded on the side of the motorway. We're stranded on the side of the motorway. You know. It might teach them a lesson not to put me under that amount of pressure. Do you know what I mean? Because I'll give up with it. Fuck them. Another one here from Airline Short. Thanks for the upload. Keep the good work. You deserve way more subscribers. Thanks. Did you know that you could use zmsocial.com? Oh, I've read this one already. Bloody hell. I think it would really help grow your channel. I'm not interested in growing my channel really by any other means. Yeah, I did read it because I commented on it. Look. Thanks, but I'm not interested in using companies to grow my channel. Yeah, I mean, I think people who use companies to grow their channel is a bit fake. I mean, if you're into that, growing your YouTube channel, only you can do it, my friends. You know, you've got to make the content and put the effort into it. I don't see how a company can really help you do that. Alright, they might be able to give you better editing or better ideas for videos, but I don't need ideas for videos because I don't actually do videos where I've got ideas to do stuff. I just make a video on stuff I'm doing, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm taking a radio apart, I'll video that. If I'm mending an engine, I'll video that, you know? I'm not necessarily all about doing ideas and going out, like a lot of these people, they do the I stayed in this for 24 hours challenge or whatever, you know, for video. Well, you've got to have ideas for that, ain't you? But I don't do none of that, so. Whatever you see is what I've filmed, what I'm doing. So, anyway, you lot, that's the end of the comments on that one. I wonder if Peter was getting really annoyed or not. I hope he weren't. I don't set out to annoy people, but sometimes when you give me the bait, you know, we can go backwards and forwards. I don't care. Peter, if you're watching, I don't know what you're on about with ham, CB and all that rubbish, but I think you're a bit, I don't know, what's the word? Over enthusiastic. I've just been changing the MOSFETs in this old amp here. Well, it's not an old one. It's another amp, another KL203, second one. Well, no, I've got a few of them, so. Do you reckon they're going to work? Who knows? We'll have to have a look and find out. I ain't plugged it in yet. Let's find out. Not in this video, though. There'll be another video coming up with that. Take care, you lot.